Hey up everybody, welcome back to the I'll Do Cycling YouTube channel. Today we're going to be going through the fourth or fifth round, I'm not really too sure, of the Superclasico Velogames. It's the first Category 1 race of the Velogames calendar because it is of course the first monument. And well, because it's a Category 1 race, you're definitely going to want to start getting this right. If it's in serious contention for winning your mini league, then you're definitely in the right place because I'm going to give you some tips as to who to pick on your teams. As far as I can tell, I have two team scenarios, so you can pick either or. And yeah, hopefully this helps to, give you a better team and help you win your mini leagues. If it does help, I'd really appreciate, if you just send us a message on Instagram or Twitter at I'll Do Cycling. That would be, that'll be great to hear who you guys are picking. Send us your teams. If you want a specific opinion about a rider, then I'll be happy to give you some thoughts on any rider that you send to me. I'll give you an honest opinion as to whether I think you should pick them or not. Anyway, so let's just talk about what's going on in this race. So this is option kind of number one. Not exactly, but remove Christophe Laporte here. He'll be in option number two. I'll just put in a 6-pointer. I don't know. Pick anybody. So, in my opinion, option number one is you go with just the big favourites in the race, which is Mathieu van der Poel and Wout van Aert, because they are the favourites. As you can see, they're 32 points. I won't go with Alaphilippe personally. I know that he's came second last year, and he won the race, and he's come third, and he's just very consistent in this. But I'm just not too sure about his chances of beating a Wout van Aert or a Mathieu van der Poel in a sprint. So I'd be probably putting your 32 points into them instead. Of course, that takes up a lot of your team's budget. So as far as I can tell, you could pick a third kind of good rider about who could range from like 18 points up to like 22, 24 at a maximum. So you could go with like a Michael Matthews maybe instead of who I've got in here, Christophe. You could pick Matthews, but that is also going to mean that you have to have 3-4 pointers on your team, which that's not great, to be honest with you. I feel that the 6 pointers in this race could score you some points, so you're probably better off perhaps spreading your points out a bit more, and rather than picking 4 pointers, picking 6 pointers, because they could actually get you, a 50 points here, a 50 points there. That all adds up at the end of it. So, in my eyes, yes, you could go with exactly this scenario on this team on the screen right now, but I'd perhaps not go with Matthews. I know he's an incredible rider and I feel like he'll do really well, but you could go with a Nizzolo, Moscon. Horich has a lot of good 20 pointers. We'll just put Aran Baru in here for the meantime. And then instead of these 4 pointers, the only good 4 pointer, just on a note here, the 4 pointer that you should be thinking about putting on is Christoph Fingston, because he is from Jumbo-Visma, which means that if Wout van Aert wins, he will get 30 points. So that's quite good value. Otherwise, you're running the lottery of, is this rider going to get in the break? Any of these Novo Nordisk riders, the Angioli Giocattoli riders, like Sam Brand, something like that. I'd probably go with some 6 pointers. For example, Mads Schmidt, after just winning a stage of the Tirreno, I can't remember which one. Yasha Sutherland, Quinn Simmons, all names. I'll just go through the 6 pointers now, so you know who are the good ones. There aren't many, but there certainly are some. Jorgensen would have been a good pick, but he's not racing, so don't pick Jorgensen. If he is on your team, take him off. Genietz has looked really good, and I think that if Demar starts to do bad, Genietz could be a great option. Feline is a bit of an outside pick. Doesn't really go well in this race, but did look good in Tirreno, especially on that on that day which Van der Poel won, like stage 5. Stefan Bissiger won the time trial in Paris-Nice, so he's obviously in good form. That's about it, really. There's not many, but of those 6 pointers, perhaps pick one of those rather than a 4-pointer. Go with perhaps Christoph Fingston. So I'll just create a scenario. Let's just put Subtle in, and where's Mads Schmidt? Yeah, there we go. So you could go with a team like this, where you kind of have the two main favourites and kind of outside favourite, and then you have 3 kind of supporting riders. I think that this is a very safe team, and I think that if you're looking to not be on the risky side and just get certain points that you're going to do well this round, perhaps just go with something like this. It won't be more than it probably won't be getting you the top points in the world, but if you're just looking for consistency and a solid foundation to build upon, and not wanting to lose ground in your mini leagues, and perhaps go with a team like this. The other option is to go a bit risky. Choose either Wout van Aert or Mathieu van der Poel and take off one of them. I'm going to go with Van der Poel in this example. You don't have to do this. You could take off Wout van Aert. I'm just doing this as an example. I'd probably put on Michael Matthews. Out of all the 24 pointers, Bennett, Ewan, Matthews, Nason, Schachmann, and Van Avermaet, I'd probably go Matthews. He finished, third last year. Looked really good in Paris, climbing really well, and Bike Exchange are all in for him. And then, because you have saved 8 points here, you're on 92, not 100. Take those 8 points and put them onto a 6-pointer, and get the man who was in this team at the very start, which was Christophe Laporte. And then you have a team like this, which is, I'd say, has the capabilities of scoring you more points, but it runs the risk of you don't have one of the main favourites on your team. So that's up to you as to whether you want to run the risk of this team, but this team certainly has the potential of scoring you more points. I'd say somewhere around 600 to 700 points this team could get you, and that's in what you're predicting. What I'm predicting is Wout finishing in the top 2, Matthews, Christoph and Arambarou all finishing in the top 10, anywhere from kind of 4th down to 10th. And then Christoph Fingston getting you some assist points, and Mads Schmidt maybe finishing 20th to 30th, which will get you about 30 points-ish. I like this team. I think it's risky, and it's a team that I'd usually go with, but whether I want to go with option 1 because I'm quite high up in the Superclasico at the moment, and whether I just want to play it safe, or do I just want to go risky and try and move up? It's that kind of balance that you're trying to strike. Laporte is a good option and is really cheap for 13 points in my opinion, especially considering how he was riding at Paris-Nice. He finished in the top 10 multiple times. I think it was perhaps 4 times. I think that he is... I know they got Viviani here, but in my opinion I think that Laporte is just the better option. I think Viviani could definitely get dropped, and that overall Laporte's just in better form. So if you're looking for like a 14-pointer, go with Laporte. I don't see very many good 12 or 10-pointers. I'm just going through them now, and literally I just don't see, like maybe Heinrich Hausler, maybe Ugo Hofstede, maybe Timo Ruzen, but like Hayter. Who else have we got? Rob Stannard, Vakoch, and Loic Vliegen. I'd say at a maximum pick one of those guys. I wouldn't really be going with anybody else. 8-pointers, again, I don't really see anybody. Affini, you may as well just go with Fingston, because they'll be getting roughly the same points in terms of assists. And I won't go with any 8-pointers. I'd go with either 6 or 4-pointers, and then 14 through to the top guys. I'd miss out those 12 and 10-pointers, really. They're just really gambly, and you're risking quite a lot of points at 10 points and 12 points. It's quite a lot of your budget, so I perhaps won't pick those guys. But anyway, I'm coming up to the 10-minute mark. I'm just going to end it around here. Pick one of those team options: risky option number 2 or safe option number 1. All that's left to say is to keep your mask on, stay safe, and I'll catch you in the Classic Squad game soon. Salut!